Welcome here to your Ask Yvette episode. So today, guys, we have a question where someone is struggling with a repetitive abandonment pattern. Hi everyone, Yvette Rose here. Welcome. I'm so excited for today's episode. It's a really great question. Now, just quickly for those of you who don't know me, I'm Yvette Rose. I'm also the founder of Metaphysical Anatomy, which is a big book of 679 medical elements, and it's the psychosomatic stress for adults. And yes, guys, of course, we have one for kids as well. And then also we have wonderful workshops coming up. We have our free weekly masterclasses. It's absolutely for free. You can register at evetterose.com. I also have my intuitive body spirit workshop where you learn how to connect with your guys, how to meet them, how to work with them, heal with them, and also read animals and work and heal with animals as well. Guys, and I also have my intuitive body workshop. This one is a really big one. It's wonderful. People love it because you learn how to read the body like a book. And then, of course, I also have my MAT level 1 healing technique, which is a technique that helps a person to resolve trauma easily and effectively in their life as well. And it's also the healing technique behind the big book. And remember, if you bring 2 friends, you can come for free. And we always have awesome discounts coming up. All right, so let's dive into this question, and to really get specific with the question is, let's get it up here. Hi, I'm a little bit ashamed to say that my life is in a bit of a mess. I have some deep-rooted childhood abandonment trauma, which is coming up into adult relationships, and it's currently at the ending of a 10-year relationship, and I have a 5-year-old son. I could really do with some help and guidance. I'm struggling with depression as it's triggering a lot of things. So this is a great question, and actually a pattern that so many people actually struggle with is abandonment. And if it's not abandonment, it tends to be self-rejection, which ends up kind of like an abandonment as well. So first of all, what I'm hearing here is that there's stress or issues associated perhaps with men, because what I'm hearing now, there's a separation. So you and your partner are separating. And what this now probably what right off the bat just immediately comes to me is something that needs to be looked at and addressed. What is your general relationship like with men? What is your general relationship like with the masculine? Or is it the question also, do you have this abandonment pattern and cycle with females as well? So that now kind of like will say quite a lot, but I don't have that answer. So what I'm going to do is I will explain both parts. So if we just generalize, first of all, we're just going to generalize and then we're going to chop it down into more specifics. Abandonment patterns, now that tells me that there's a part of you that is rejecting yourself. And this sense of self-rejection is now coming forward in your relationship dynamics as well. So just right off the bat, restore your relationship with yourself first. Because if you constantly feel I'm not worthy, and rejecting your sense of self, rejecting your own needs, your need to have, self-compassion, self-love, if that's a pattern for you, it is 100% going to reflect in your relationships and your patterns with other people as well. Now, the other point also is that's really super important to look at is when you needed connection, when you needed love or just attention or affection, how was that need met in the past? This is tremendously crucially important for you to really dive into that, because that pattern is now constantly being repeated. The feedback that you received when you needed connection is now playing out in your relationships, as you can see. So what that means is my need for love is constantly met with rejection, abandonment, being pushed away, not feeling good enough. So that means your definition of love needs to be healed. The triggers, the wounds behind love needs to be resolved. Now, if you find that this pattern is just in relationship to men, now look at which parent in your life that you need love the most from, because normally it is that unresolved pattern, that wound that keeps repeating in your romantic relationships. It doesn't necessarily mean that if you keep having patterns in relationship to being triggered or abandoned by men, for example, that it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be that. I mean, it can. I mean, especially if you had a very volatile or stressful relationship where dad was very emotionally absent. Absolutely, it can repeat itself as well. But these are all points and aspects to look at. So looking at the relationship with the self, looking at how your dynamic was with a dominant parent or a parent whose love you feel was the most absent or the most stressful, because that's being repeated now in your dynamics with your adult relationships as well. But for me, the most important is the self-love, the relationship with yourself. And here is why. The love and connection that you needed with mom or dad, or with maybe an influential person in your life, that feedback, right? That feedback becomes your relationship with yourself. And then that feedback now becomes also the pattern that you start attracting with other people. So not only does it become your reference for what love is, which now in this case registers as subconscious abandonment, it also now registers as what I'm worthy of receiving is neglect, abandonment, being rejected, being pushed away, right? So, and that also means, and I won't be surprised if it's a pattern for you where you struggle to give to yourself what you need the most, right? So if you have that self-rejecting pattern, then that also means that you're going to reject what you need emotionally, physically, and psychologically as well. So these are all points and patterns, and perhaps for you to explore and to observe and look at. And I really, really hope that this helped. And keep loving yourself. I have wonderful meditations actually on my YouTube channel, self-love meditation. Please dive into that, have a look. And we'll be launching our platinum membership site very soon, where I have hundreds of workshops, including 2 massive self-love workshops as well, that will be tremendously amazingly for you. But please do start with the self-love meditation, even just to start to build that dynamic and connection back to your sense of self. So guys, there you have it. Thank you so much for this question, and thank you for being vulnerable. Thank you for being open with this question, because I have tremendous compassion for it, because this was a pattern for me as well. And the advice that I gave you is what I applied to my own life. So I do hope that that helps for you, and a lot of love for you. I love you. And for everyone else also struggling with this, hang in there. Bring your focus and your energy back to you, because your focus and your energy is with other people, and your happiness is with them. Your need for validation is outside of you. And that's why so many people have power over you, because if the absence of that love is there, then it reflects within you, and you feel that I'm not good enough, and it causes your barometer of self-love to drop. So let's bring it back up by you relying on that love and connection with your sense of self first. Thank you so much. And until next time, be the love that you are. Thank you guys for joining me here. And also remember to subscribe to our math membership website. You can check out so much more. There's so many free healing courses there as well. Go to EVETTEROSE.com, see all the free masterclasses and events that we have coming up. There's always something happening on our platform. And we love to hear from you for the Ask Yvette episodes, also for the psychosomatic patterns that you would love for us to talk about, especially when it comes to these books, the research that's in it. And there's so much to be learned and so much to be shared as well. So I love your questions. Let us know what's on your mind. Let us know what you would love me to address as well. Life challenges, it's endless. Guys, thank you so much for being here with me today. And remember to subscribe so that you can stay up to date with the latest and greatest videos that's coming out just for you. Until next time, be the light that you are.